This is tutorial 9-2 in GIS Tutorial Workbook 3. In this tutorial, we're going to be creating a custom legend. Now, for the most part, we're going to be focusing on this, so I'm just going to zoom into it so we can actually see what we're doing there. Very little of what we do in this tutorial is going to deal with this map. The first step we're going to be doing is basic name changes, as you can see in the legend. If you were to put this on a poster and put it in somewhere public, it wouldn't look very professional. You have underscores, you have words that are combined, like apartment complexes is one word. People might not understand class. For street center lines, they might not even know what a street center line is. They might think it's something different from streets. So what we're going to do is we're going to change some of the names. So we're going to change the libraries to library patron locations. And as you can see, it changed over here. You could also double click, go to general and change it in there, but for me it's just quicker to go on here and change it here directly. Okay, and now the next thing we're going to do is change this class to street classification, or road classification, I'm sorry. Now, they have numbers here, so I'm assuming whoever's going to look at this knows what these numbers mean. In this tutorial, I'm going to tell you right now, they don't tell you to change these to anything. But we're going to go to symbology. If you knew what these were, like if 0 to 1 were only for certain kind of vehicles, you could put that in here. Say 0 to 1 is like private. You could put private. You could put, no trucks for like one of them. I'm not sure what these mean, but if you did know, and I'll show you real quick what I mean. I'm just making this up. Private. It changes it to private. So that's another way of cleaning up your legend, because looking at this, I have no idea what these codes mean. So that's always a consideration. And if you don't want to change it here, you could always put a text box explaining what these values mean somewhere else on your map. But back to the actual tutorial. Down here, they just want us to put a space between plat and status. Now we're going to add some like snazzy stuff to the legend here. What they're going to do is they're going to have us make some of the headers italic. So we're going to right-click on our legend and go to Properties. Now, there's been changes with ArcMap 10 and ArcMap 10.1. If you're using ArcMap 10, follow the book. I have ArcMap 10.1, so I'm going to be showing you how to do it on ArcMap 10.1. It's a little bit easier and more simple, I think. On yours, you have to normally do a little bit more if you're using just 10, but some things are located under different tabs. For instance, if you want to see what's in the legend, they have you click on items. Now, while items will tell you what's in the legend, general is where you add what's available and what's showing. So what we're going to want to be in is we're going to want to be in items. We're going to want to click on library notification, or library patron locations. And we want to change the font for apply to the heading only, and we just hit italic. And we're going to move this over. We're going to hit apply, and as you can see, it made it italic. Now, in the book, they have a graphic showing the different things. This is the title of your legend. This is the layer name. This is the heading. This is the label. And if there was a description, which we'll get into later, it would be over here. Now, there's a your turn where you just make streets and Olender property italic. So in here, as you can see, the font applying has stayed the same, so they've really made this simple. And 10.1. Now what we're going to do is we're going to click apply, and it just simply made them italic. We're going to also rearrange where things are. Right now, creeks and bodies of water are separated by streets. Doesn't make much sense. Water should be with water. So we're gonna, on this one, we're gonna be in general. And over here, you just click on the one you want to move and move it on the arrows. And click apply. And as you can see, creeks and bodies of water are now right next to each other. And they want us to do the same thing to apartment complexes, but move it underneath library patron locations, because that's the main focus. They shouldn't be at the top, and they should be right next to each other. So once that's done, just click OK, apply. Now what they're going to have us do is they're going to have us create other columns. I'm just going to click OK and get out of this for a second. Go to the full thing. The way that the map is created right now, we cannot place the legend here without covering up part of the map. But we do have this empty space down here. So I'm going to go back to where I was. Actually, no, we'll stay zoomed out for now. Right click, go back into properties. And you used to do this over here in this area over here to create different columns for items. Now you do it in items, and you want to select the layers that you want. We want creeks, and holding down the control key, streets, and Olender property. And as you can see, this became a square instead of empty or a check. So just click it to where there's nothing there, and then click it to where there's a check. Then click OK. As you can see, we can now fit it down here pretty easily. Normally, it's never this simple to where it's like, oh, you do that and it fits there perfectly. You normally have to reshape it, but they made it to where it's a little bit more simpler. Now, they want us to move it down here to where it would most likely be. Now we're going to add a different label and a description, and they're going to have us do that with creeks. Now, we could just go to up here and change this to creeks and rivers, but they want us to do it a different way. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the properties for creeks. And in the symbology field, you're going to want to type what you want to appear here as the label. Creeks and rivers. And then we're going to add a description. And here we're going to write center line data. Make sure I spelled that right. Derived from. Now, if we were using a text box, this is normally where we hit enter to go down a space. That is not what you do here. You hit Control M, brings you down to the next line. 2009 aerial photos. Period. And click OK, and OK again. And I'm going to zoom us down here to see what we got. See, now we changed it to creeks and rivers, even though up here it's still creeks as the layer. And we have our description, but it's kind of made it to where we can't fit it on the page, and they have us fix that at the end, so I'll just leave it till then. So what we're going to work on now is we're going to change the symbol that appears in the legend for streams. Now, if we go up here, there is no real straight line for streams or creeks or rivers, so we're going to make it look more realistic. And to do that, you just right-click Properties, and once again in the Items window, you click on Creeks, you go down to Style. Don't click anything over here, just click on Properties here, and go to the General tab. Click on this Override Default Patch, and we're working with a line, so change it to Flowing Water. Click OK, and OK again, and OK again. And now it's a squiggly line. Looks more like what you're going to actually see on the map. Because sometimes seeing a shape makes it easier to find on the map. And there's a U-turn where we do the same thing with bodies of water. It's fairly easy. Just go to Properties again for the legend. Bodies of water, Style, Properties again, Override, and then Water Body. Click OK, OK, and OK. And now it's like a blob of water. Now sometimes there's not really a shape that we can use, so we sometimes have to create our own legend patch. And we're going to do that now. So you're going to go to Customize Mode, Commands, and you're going to start typing a new legend, and it should pop up pretty quick. Grab it and place it over here. And click Close on this. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to zoom in to your map. Right here is good. You're going to right-click on Orlender property, make it the only selectable layer, and holding down the Shift button, I'm going to select these parcels, just because I like the shape they make, and that's what the book did. If you want to go in and choose another one, feel free. It's your map. Now with that done, we're going to come up here and we're going to use this new tool we just used, or put onto our toolbar. And it's an area, and it's the outline of a feature. We're going to choose what feature that is, Orlender property. We're going to choose selected rather than all or visible. And then we're going to do create patch. Now it does not do the lines, so just be sure of that. Then add to style set. And then you're going to name it Orlender property. This is where you click OK. I'm going to click cancel because I already created this the first time I went through, and I didn't feel like going in and deleting it. So then, once you click OK, you just click close on this. And to make sure that it's there, you're going to go up to Customize, and you're going to go to Style Manager. And you're going to click on this. And as you can see, these are all empty. That's because I don't have anything that I created except for my Oleander property. So we can close out of that. And now we can zoom out to our whole page again. Clear our selection so our map doesn't look like that. And using the sketch element, I'm going to right click, go to properties. I'm going to click on Oleander property, style, properties, override default patch, go to area, and choose Oleander property. OK, OK, and OK. And if we zoom in down here, we can see that it was created over here. Now what they're going to have us do is they want us to know that these apartment complexes are over plated property. So we have to somehow show that. So we're going to go into our properties for apartment complexes, and we're going to go to display. And we're going to change transparency to 70%. And that allows us to see what's underneath. But the color's kind of changed, but not down here. So what we have to do now is we have to go up to Patron Analysis Data Frame, go to Properties, and in the General tab, click Simulate Layer Transparency and Legend. And as you can see, it kind of appears over here now. Okay, now with that, there is something they want us to see. Right now, look at the distance between the layer names and the headers. And everything, the spacing of things. Because what we're going to do now is going to change that. We're going to go into Properties, bring it up so we can kind of see most of it anyways. And in this, you would do it in the Legend tab. Here, we do it in Layout in 10.1. So if you're using 10, follow the book. I can't show you that way because I don't have that option anymore. And they want us to do the columns and change it to 14. So we're going to change the columns gap to 14. As you can see, apply. They're now more spaced out. We're going to click OK. And now what we're going to do is we're going to resize it so it actually fits on our little map here. And if we go back into Properties, you can see that that has also, it's no longer 14, but the difference is still there. It's not like they shrink next to each other, so it keeps that ratio pretty good. And if you want them spaced out more, you just increase that number again until the ratio is just right. You could go in and kind of mess with the other ones, the headings, the labels, and all that, see what that does. Sometimes they make these too close to each other. But that's it for this tutorial. And just a minor thing, most people know what a legend is from seeing it. So just by putting legends, kind of redundant. So you could always change that to say something else. Use it as maybe even the title or a question or something. Or you can just get rid of it. I mean, no one's going to really look at this and be like, what is this? When they see the things on the map. They're going to know it's a legend. But that's it for this tutorial.